What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bounty back, you know what I'm saying? And today, as promised in my last anime video, I'm here today with the top 20 anime of 2023 final list. So look, I don't got too much to say, we just gonna get straight into it, come on.
Yuki? 大丈夫ですか?
Ever saw an anime that managed to make work actually seem enjoyable? Well, the ice guy and his cool female colleague does just that. And with a little kick of originality thrown into the plot, with the main male character being an Iceman, like literally an Iceman that produces snow, watching the romance that blooms between him and the main female character, Fuyutsuki, was extremely heartwarming. This is not a super dramatic or action-packed watch. It's just a nice little winter anime to throw on, kick your feet up, and enjoy as you watch some wholesome romance between an ice guy and his cool female colleague. This show is very wholesome. Romance and slice of life anime enjoyers will really enjoy this show. From the story to the animation, it was executed perfectly and came together to make a really relaxing, heartwarming, enjoyable watch. So if you're looking for something chill, no pun intended, to watch, I definitely recommend this show right here.
こんな出会いがあるなんて。もしよかったらこのままここにいてくれないか。できればずっと。
その、ずいぶん急ね。
この機会を逃したくないんだ。
ヴァンパイアだし。
問題ない。
Ever think you'll want to create your own village in the middle of the forest? I didn't think so either at one point, until I watched this anime. Farming Life in Another World is about a guy who is transported to another world to live a nice, peaceful, quiet farm life. Now, I know this doesn't sound like anything crazy, but it is oddly satisfying watching him grow his farm, befriend several different animals, people, and other races, and all in all just build his small little farm, which he started alone, into a big, lively village of many different kinds of villagers. If you've ever watched the anime The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, it kinda gives you that same feeling that you get when you see Rimuru building Tempest from a small, beat up village to a powerful nation housing some of the strongest beings in the world. And if you've never watched The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, don't worry about that comparison. Just get ready to kick back and have a good time with this slice of life banger.
バーベキューですか。お肉大好きなんですよね、ボ。嘘だろ。
What kind of show would allow a legendary hero who saved the world to fall for a trap by a random farmer intended to kill a monster? Well, this one right here. The Legendary Hero is Dead is probably one of the most stupid shows I've ever seen, if not the stupidest show I've ever seen. However, as stupid as it is, somehow the plot is still pretty good in all honesty. Beyond all the trolling and hilarious moments in this anime, there is a pretty epic plot that keeps you entertained and wanting more. And it keeps you wanting more for more than just simply the sake of laughing really hard. I mean, of course, you also want more for that reason as well. But you know, being that this anime is literally one of the funniest I've ever seen in my life, if not the funniest I've ever seen in my life, adding that epic plot to it makes it a really great watch, and I'm really looking forward to a season 2 if they ever make one for this show.
服を脱げばただの白骨死体。特等席で覗き放題だぜ。この感覚を知っている。血族の実質的指導者は神より王の称号を賜った方々に感じたのと同じ絶対強者への畏怖。
Do you like anime with an OP main character and aesthetically pleasing and hype fighting scenes? Well, if you do, then you'll love this anime right here. Ragna Crimson is on this list for me solely because of how great the action is. You really find yourself looking forward to watching these fights in this show. And I'd even go as far as to say that Ragna Crimson had the best fighting scenes in anime this year. And even one of the best and most satisfying fighting scenes I think I've ever seen in anime. The only gripe I have with this show is that the main character gets a crazy power up without really doing anything. Granted, it's not like he just goes to another world and is randomly super strong like some other enemies, you know. He gains strength over many years of his life and gives it back to his younger self to save his girl, basically. But I mean, still, the younger version of himself hasn't gone through anything to attain that power. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just prefer anime that either show or infer some kind of character development along a main character's life. Because realistically, you can't just randomly become strong without putting in the work. And even if you do become strong physically randomly like that, with no character development, you haven't become strong mentally. And you can't really call yourself strong without being mentally strong. And this is just a personal preference. Like, I would have rather they just centered the story around his older version instead of giving his power back to his younger self. But, you know, I mean, hey, the show is still great. And, you know, if you're looking for some great fights and action, this one is for you for sure. And even though I did have that gripe about the show, yes, I still really enjoy this show. Like, I'm really enjoying this show. It's still going on right now. So, yeah, most definitely go check it out.
守護結界今この瞬間作り出した考え得る限り最強の防御もう決して二度とアルテマティア様を傷つけさせはしない
恐れたな俺をミコトもミナトもどこ行ったんだ
しっかり者のミコト兄さん元は珍しいな
たくミナトは体も本調子じゃないってのに
まあミコト兄さんが一緒ならば心配はないだろ夕飯時には戻ってくるさ
今のガクトなんかめっちゃお父さんっぽいガクトがこの家の父
The true definition of wholesome. That is the best way to describe this anime here. It's no crazy action. In fact, it's no action. Well, actually, I guess you could say there was one little fist fighting though. But okay, that's still not action anyway though. You know what I'm saying? But there's no action involved in this show and not really any romance or any of the normal characteristics that usually makes anime so enjoyable. But don't sleep on the slice of life genre. This anime shows us the daily lives of four brothers all living together and looking out for each other after losing both of their parents at a young age. It illustrates different family dynamics between siblings, and it's just an all-around feel-good anime. Watching these four brothers look out for each other and bond with each other every episode is so wholesome, and it's the perfect source of entertainment to kick back and relax to while still watching something that you can enjoy. This was a really underrated show from 2023, and I definitely urge you all to go check it out. Now this is an anime that really grows on you. I watched like the first 3 episodes of this anime and then put it down for about like 3 or 4 months. It wasn't until I saw a clip of his later episodes on YouTube until I went back and actually watched the rest of the show. Once I did go back and stick it out though, this show grew into so much more than I had initially thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to be a slow-paced, nice little comedy anime that didn't really have too much going on. However, much to my surprise, as insignificant as each little piece to the episode seemed throughout the anime, they all ended up coming together and forming the plot into something actually really interesting. Even the subtle romance you see in the show eventually grows into something pretty special by the end. If you're gonna check this one out, stick it through the first few episodes and know that you'll be in for a fun ride in the long run. Don't be like me and put the show down after 3 episodes.
ちんと清掃して証拠隠滅を図らねえ。
Alright, now I know this anime did not originally release in 2023, but season 2 did, so I'm just gonna judge the ranking of this show off of season 2 alone. Now, Spy X Family is pretty well known, so I won't give any real backstory on the show, but what I will say is that for all the hype that it has around it, it is not overhyped. This is a really fun, wholesome, action-packed anime with likable characters all around, and season 2 delivered perfectly. After the first season focused more on Lloyd and Anya, of course, this season was a nice change of pace as it gave Yor more of a spotlight. This anime picked up right where it left off after its first season, and I'm looking forward to its next season as well. If you haven't picked up Spy X Family yet, hey, I would encourage y'all to go ahead and do it. Me personally, I don't really like looking into the anime that are hyped up a lot. I kind of stick to the underground ones. But sometimes, and matter of fact, a lot of times, the hype is there for a reason. So go ahead and check out what the reason is.
足どうしたんですか？
ああ、これは。
すみません、私のせいです。私が女子トイレで驚かせてしまった。
詳しく聞かせてもらおうか。
近いです。
Slowish start, amazing finish. I won't lie, the first 6 or 7 episodes into this show, I thought it was pretty good, but nothing insane. But let me tell you, by the end of the show, you're gonna be like, wow. Going from just pretty good to masterpiece in a few episodes, this show is the definition of having a strong finish. The animation in this anime seems to make every important scene so much more powerful. And as you go along this ride with this girl main character that tries to be strong and independent even though she is frail, and this cool-headed guy that seems oblivious to any kind of human emotion, you start to get pulled in more and more to the story. And each moment where you can clearly see the bond is being built between the two main characters, the animators did a perfect job of communicating the feelings between the two of them with every little thing they did, all the way down to the way they animated the eye contact.
Karini?
仮に
仮にだぞ。
はい、仮にっすね。
俺がその長瀞と付き合いたいと思ったとして。
付き合いたいと思ったとして
神頼みじゃなくて自分で頑張るべきかと。
Ah yes, a romance anime with a male main character that is the most awkward person ever when it comes to talking to girls. Now again, this anime did not premiere in 2023, but its second season did come out in 2023. So I'm counting it and basing it off of its second season alone for ranking purposes. Anyways, I really didn't think I would like this show at all when I first saw it, but if you stick it out through the first few episodes, you find out it's actually a really good show, and season 2 really hit home with the romance. It doesn't seem like it at first glance, but this anime is actually pretty original. In fact, it's one of my favorite rom-com animes of all time, and as weird as the main character seems, you actually kind of come to like him, honestly. I mean, you know, everybody got to start from somewhere, and you can really see my boy, he a good dude. He just need to develop his social skills a little bit, and that's what he does as the show goes along. But watching the romance build in the background while the main female character, Nagatoro, trolls the male main character the entirety of each episode is much more refreshing than you think it would be. And season 2 especially delivered greatly on the romance aspect. Of course, there was still the trolling in there, still the joking, but there was a lot of romantic development in this season.
俺は長瀞が描きたいんだ。いつものありのままの長瀞を。
さあ続きといこう。可憐な暗殺者。
Okay, so I'm not the biggest thriller anime fan, but I can't lie, this one right here, this got me. Mysteries, great main characters, and overall character cast. Good fighting scenes, originality, and a crazy plot spurring you to want more after each episode. While I may not be too big on thriller anime, I can say for sure this one was executed perfectly. So many different characters and events tie back into the plot and make important pieces to solving the puzzle of this show. And as the viewer continues to become more and more invested in the corpse god from another world's life in Japan, you will find yourself wondering how there can be so many different happenings at once. By the end of season 1, some questions are answered, but many questions are left unanswered. And hopefully they will renew this show to come back for a season 2, but this was a great watch this season, really underrated, and I definitely want y'all to go check this one out.
おい、仲間に手を出すな。お前の相手は俺だ。
Let me start off by saying this anime is different. As we all know, some anime you can kind of tell where the story is going and what's going to happen, but this anime, you won't believe the switch ups it'll hit you with. Beginning this story with some of the funniest comedy I've seen in anime all year, I thought this anime was just gonna be a lighthearted, fun watch. Man, I couldn't have been any more wrong. As I got deeper into the show, the plot got so real and dark. I mean, even for all the anime out there with sad scenes, I don't usually actually get sad while watching anime, but some of the things that was going on in this show really made me just pause the show and be like, dang. If you are gonna check this show out, get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. But it's an amazing watch and one of the best anime plots I've ever seen, in my opinion. I would rank it higher, but the first season ended off a little stale for me, but I'm really looking forward to the next season.
え、なんだただのセロリ。
あれは激悪な毒物だ、産業廃棄物だ。匂いだけで吐き気を催すジャンクで見るのも嫌だ。近寄ったら死ぬ。セロリ go home go there。
落ち着け。
Now look y'all, again, I know this show didn't originally air in 2023, but the second season did, so I'm judging it solely off of that. Honestly, I don't have too much to say about this show. It's really just funny. And like when I say funny, I mean it's hilarious. This is easily a contender for the funniest show I've ever seen, competing with the likes of Grand Blue and School Rumble. And as the name implies, the main character in this show, who is a vampire, literally just dies like all the time. Like literally, even if you just touch him or surprise him or something, he'll end up dying. But anyways, there's a bunch of hilarious characters, and each episode is some new random adventure, fighting a harmless, crazy villain, trying to make everyone play strip rock paper scissors shoes, or make everyone say their sexual preferences with magic. This show is extremely stupid, but it's hilarious and a great watch. I definitely recommend it.
何の生き物？新手のバイオテロか。
どうしたロナルド君。うるさー。
Action, 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 action. If you want to see some amazing fighting scenes and an OP main character who actually worked for his power, well, this show is for you. Honestly, the plot of this show isn't anything that crazy, but the fights are just so amazing and animated so beautifully. And as we all know, some anime just randomly drop their main character into another world and make them OP without any character development. But again, this show is not like that. The main character, who is by the way super cold, really put in the work to become powerful. And honestly, by the end of the second season, I'm not gonna lie, the final fight got me so excited, I was literally smiling and shaking while I was watching the show. Pause. That sounds crazy, but like I was excited, like, you know. Okay, never mind. Just go watch. Go watch the show. Go watch the show. This is crazy. Some of the best fighting scenes like you will ever see. Some of the best powers you will ever see. Super OP main character. Super cool main character. Super cool characters all around. Great cast. You gonna love this show. Check it out.
レオン、ハート。
そうだ。
I promise you've never seen a story like this one in anime. This show started off a little slow for me, but by the end, it took me on a ride I don't think I'll ever forget. With its unique plot and setting, wholesome romance, and slight comedy and cuteness, this show is sure to captivate you as you watch the two main characters set out on their path together to bring change to all of the people of the Beast Kingdom. This show is also a great representation of how even the seemingly strongest people still fear things and have to overcome that fear to accomplish their ambitions. This odd couple goes through so many trials and tribulations along the course of this show, but each one only strengthens their bond and their conviction to stand beside each other. And as their bond continues to become stronger, the challenge, which seemed to be completely impossible early on in this anime, of turning the Beast Kingdom that has such deeply rooted racist ideologies against humans, as do humans them, into a place of accepting all, including a human queen, seems to become more and more doable.
Nan.
キースしながら筋トレの本読んだら受かる気あるの？せめて魔法に関する本であれよ。
トレーニング後45分以内のタンパク質摂取は
なんか一人で言ってるし。
Here we go, Cream Puff Man. Now look, Mashle is already a legendary anime for two solid reasons. One being the fact that the story is absolutely amazing. Great fights, great comedy, great build-up, great characters and interaction between those characters. And two, being the fact that the animators absolutely killed this show. These fight scenes are amazing and unlike anything you've ever seen. This story has so much potential to be a great anime, and the animators absolutely killed the show just as much as the writers killed the writing. You guys are gonna love this show if you like to laugh, watch amazing fights, see overpowered characters that don't have a childish mentality, and see original characters and not just recycled character types from other anime. Get ready to see something special from this show.
Yosh, じゃあ行くか。
ミリも行く。パパと一緒にお出かけする。
どうするのこれ。
任せとけって。さあ、好きなだけ食っていいぞ。
やった
やめ。
This anime is simply wholesome. Well, I mean wholesome but not wholesome. Yes, the two main characters are assassins that kill people to make a living, but who would have thought there could be assassins with so much personality and heart? The animation, fight scenes, comedy, wholesome moments, and story of this show are off the charts. Watching two assassins raise a little 4-year-old girl might have really been one of the best anime experiences I've ever had, and I really wasn't expecting it to be. This anime combines the slice of life, action, and comedy genres together perfectly, and the perfect animation to go along with it. If you're looking for something funny, action-packed, and a cuteness overload, this is most definitely the show for you.
"高校に入ってすぐの頃、私は告白をした。お前のことが好きだ、ジュン。それなのに。
俺も愛してんぜ、親友。
おあ、この男は私を全く女扱いしていない。私は相沢友は女の子だ。
In Tomo-chan Is A Girl, you will see amazing romance coupled with amazing comedy. Very rarely do I find an anime that actually has me often laughing out loud throughout each episode. And even more rarely do you find an anime that does this but also executes perfectly on another genre at the same time. Tomo-chan Is A Girl is literally the perfect rom-com. And with an extremely not only likable but unique main character, it makes the feel it gives you a feeling you can only get from the source. Not to mention all the other characters in this show are very unique and likable as well. All in all, this is one of the best romance animes ever in my opinion. And I'd even go as far as to say it's also one of the best comedy anime ever. And when you can combine two different genres together this well and execute on each one perfectly, what can I say? You done made a masterpiece.
社長、大事な話があるのですが、本日付で退職する決意をいたしました。至らないところの多い私を今日までご指導していただき、本当にありがとうございました。誠に身勝手な理由ではございますが、ご了承いただきますよう何卒よろしくお願いします。
This anime was so unique and left an impression on me I don't think, matter of fact, not even I don't think, I know I'll never forget. The art style, the aesthetic, the attention to detail on the fights, and even on the littlest things like small conversations makes this show so good. And on top of this, the plot is actually amazing. A main character who marches by the beat of his own drum, kinda like Luffy, and has fun while the world is in a zombie apocalypse is not something the average person would think up. Indeed, the writers were cooking with this show, just as the animators were cooking with this show. And even after the last 3 episodes were delayed for months, I can't even complain. That's how beautiful this show is. In all honesty, this might be the most aesthetically pleasing anime I've ever seen in my entire life. The visuals were absolutely insane and added so much to this show. And even though the last 3 episodes got delayed a few months, honestly, even if we gotta deal with some delays again, I seriously hope if this show gets renewed for a season 2 that the same studio will animate the next season as well. This is the best pure romance anime I've seen since From Me to You. The art style, the scenes, the small interactions, the build up of the romance, everything in this anime was executed perfectly, and it made one of the best and most feel good romance animes I've ever seen. It doesn't have the comedy aspect many other romance animes, even some that we've discussed today in this video, incorporate. But the romance and aesthetic of this show was so amazing, I promise you, you won't be worried about any comedy. This was one of my favorite romance anime I've ever watched, and I love the romance genre and have watched a bunch, so that alone should be a testament to how good this show is. If you don't like the typical school romance anime, you might not like this one as much as I enjoyed it, but if you are a fan of school romance anime, then this one right here may just be the best one you will ever see. Romance anime enjoyers, y'all gotta go check this one out.
There was Hern the Hunter, who took the souls of warriors. He was called the Horned King. In Greek mythology, the Horned King of the underworld was Hades, of course. The Roman god of the dead was Pluto.
The god of the dead.
Now, we finally made it to number 1 on the list. And sitting at the top of all of these bangers, we got this anime here, Pluto. As amazing as every anime that came out this year was, nothing moved me as much as this anime. The legend himself, writer of Monster, Naoki Urasawa, made this story with an inspiration from an earlier show, Astro Boy. And when I say he killed this anime, whew! This anime is a psychological thriller that will have you engaged from the very beginning to the very end. as it tackles the highly debated question of what continued technological advancements and advanced AI systems could mean for the world. You are sure to take something meaningful from this work. Not only was this my favorite anime from this year, but this anime, Pluto, actually might have been one of my favorite anime of all time. I can't give a ranking off the top of my head, but it's definitely up there in the upper echelons. So I really recommend you all to go check out all these shows I talked about today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and y'all have a great day. I'm gone. Who is Bounty, and what can you expect from his channel? Bounty is a free-spirited individual, steadfast chasing his dream through every hardship and challenge he faces in the way of his final destination. You can expect to see epic gaming videos infused with unrivaled comedy like all of these videos right here. Insightful, professionally made anime recommendation and review videos like all of these. Comedic, high energy reaction videos, and from time to time, even explorative vlogs and IRL videos such as these. So click that subscribe button to become a part of the journey with Bounty. I shall hope to see you again in another video, my good friend. Until next time.